Okay, first time to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Al-Shai, Bashim, Kakadash. And your double honor to the elders, apostles, and teachers, great military, following the truth, and this isn't necessarily going to be about women alone, but just mainly going to the fact of what you have at the end of the video with this chick talking about how it's not easy to get a job, and she's an accomplished woman. You know, she has experience as an IT manager and an IT director. You know, positions where you you can consider having a good amount of experience and accomplishment, because obviously when you get into the technological field or the area, that area, whatever the fuck official term they have for it, you gotta have a few years of training. You gotta have some degrees under your belt. But she's talking about her trouble finding a job, getting rejected from jobs like McDonald's, and it's just it's just a bad fucking situation. But you want to know something interesting is how, and a lot of she hasn't said anything about trying to find a man. And something interesting about black women, especially, well, women in general, but especially the black woman, is that they will do everything except find a man to come under. They'll sell ass. They'll live in complete poverty and fucking squalor. They'll live on the street before they submit to a man. They will do that. Once again, this woman, it seems like she's trying everything except find a man. And a lot of women in like these government positions or these different high paying positions, they're in student debt, and or they're getting laid off, because like when you go into like these technological positions, you can easily get fucking put out of your job off of artificial intelligence when it comes to like dealing with computers and shit. But government jobs, for example, you had Trump knocking off a lot of people that's in the government jobs, and like what, you got Jake in there, but you have the nigga woman as well. But we are in that time, and what the women are going to feel it the hardest, because especially black women are really going to feel it the most, because they are the women, because like they did worse than Edomite women. Look at their male counterpart as complete shit and say that they're better than their male counterpart because they went to college or because they make more money. But now look at them. Like what? Got a lot of dudes in these comments that talk about how they don't feel bad for none of these women. Sure, you got your simps, but like once again, the whole sentiment of men is pretty much changing to really not really giving a fuck about these women. Because like obviously you have your simps or whatnot, but a lot of men like it. And when it comes to black women, right? Because when push comes to shove, the only support that black woman could really fall back on is her male counterpart. Now you can say that she can go to the Edomite government, but which is true. She's going to the Edomite government. She's going to the Edomite government, and now the Edomite government's fucking her over. So what's left? They're trying. They will do everything, and they'll sell ass before they get together with dude. That's like the last of the last resort. If they don't choose death first. And you got a lot of black women that will probably choose death before they choose to come up under a black man, the so-called black man, Israelite man. But that's fine, because the Lord told us that this would happen. Once again, women being stubborn, and like you having a degree doesn't mean shit. As you can see, all of your accomplishments, they don't mean shit. As you can see. They don't mean shit. Your skill doesn't mean anything. It's not doing you anything. Like that nigga Thanos said, you couldn't live with your mistakes, and where did that lead you? Right back to me. Yeah, it was Isaiah 4:1. When like when all else truly fails, when these hoes life when they're getting a damn head stomped in, that's what they're gonna call crawling back to men. But when it comes to the men of the Lord, a lot of these women are gonna get the fucking boot. They're gonna get the no way, Jose. Rejected. Isaiah 32:11. Once again, this is solely on women, but I guess that's gonna be a bulk of the video. But there's a scripture I really want to. We get to Isaiah 32:1, 32:9. Rise up, you women, they're at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear to my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled. Lord, keep calling them careless, because these hoes are walking around with their head held high towards the sky, in fancy cars, paying $800 a month in a fucking car note, and acting as if all is right with the world, as if the tarot card reading is gonna come true, that they're gonna be able to find the man of their dreams, and they're gonna become a strong power couple. Fantasies. None of that shit is about to happen, and it hasn't happened. Careless woman, for the vintage shall fail, and the things shall not come. Going to a vineyard. Everything that these women have sown, it's going to come to naught. The government is no longer, as you can see, going to be supporting women. Trump is talking about getting rid of Section 8. I know he talked about getting rid of government funding and allowing states to come up with their own personal funding program benefits. And we already know how these states do things. They take most of the money and they fuck the rest of the people over. Case in point with that California bitch who went to Africa while California was fucking burning. Humble yourself. Stop being a prideful asshole. Because at the end of this thing, you're either going to willingly bow down or you're going to get bowed the fuck down. That's how this thing goes. That's how it's about to go. And for once again, especially you black women, y'all have burnt your bridge to your lifeline. Because y'all can rely upon the so-called white man system up to a certain point. Now you're seeing that shit's betraying you, and nobody gives a fuck. No one. Y'all can't play that sympathy card. The only people y'all really gonna get sympathy from is probably from other nigga women. But y'all trying to seek sympathy from men, that shit's not gonna work. Nobody gives a fuck about y'all, and it's y'all fault. Y'all are assholes. They shall lament for the teats, for pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Let me see if you're. But this is what I wanted to go to. Isaiah 19. Neither shall there be any more work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And there's another one. The windows are darkened. As you can see, they're saying that they're adding jobs, but the opposite is happening. They're losing. People are getting knocked. They're getting knocked off. Or we have shit that Trump is doing. They should, just firing a shit ton of people, and a lot of it is women. And selling ass is only going to get you is only going to get these women so far. Especially when it comes to Jacob's trouble, niggas are just gonna be taking that shit, and what you're gonna have nothing else to rely on. You're gonna have to rely on the man, but once again, the nigga woman doesn't want to do that. The birth never ceases. The noise of the rejoice, and the noise of the heart, the joy of the heart ceases. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink will be bitter to them that drink it. And all this partying, once again, partying is only gonna bring these people so far, because they try to drink, they'll try to party to try to drown out their sorrows. But that's only gonna take them so far, because something the woman says how she was afraid, she was scared, but she didn't want to go to the street. She didn't know what her future would hold. And the future of America, those windows are darkened. It's looking mighty, mighty bleak. City of confusion is broken down. Every house is shook. No man make a way. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The birth of the land is gone. And all that party and all that, it's party time is over. And there's another one I wanted to get. Yep. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, when you have time. You know, when all these things weren't happening. And even now. But once again, all women are going to do everything except turn to a man, and everything else except turn to the Heavenly Father, which you have to go through a man. While the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And you know, you got a lot of homeless women that don't look homeless, but they're really homeless. You know, a lot of women that are selling their bodies that you would have never thought they would do. They would sell their bodies. There's a whole difference. While the sun and light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. And like what these financial analysts, you know, all these niggas who are in the financial sector and tasked with monitoring the economy, these niggas all talk about how the dollar is, and this is shit that people were talking about fucking decades ago, 10, 20, 30 years ago, how the dollar is fucking doomed. And 10, 20, 30 years later, you're now seeing this. And you had our elders and apostles 10, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago talking about these things would happen. But what did mainly black women do? They looked down on the prophets. They shitted on the prophets. They talk shit. And the strong men bow themselves, and the grinders cease. Once again, the lack of jobs. And this is the worst time for that shit to happen. You know, because the lack of jobs combined with the overwhelming student debt and inflation is going to nail you fucking holes to the damn wall, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. You are all especially that student loan thing. That's a surgical fucking strike, because they're going to take money from you. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Your celebrities, your entertainment, the music is garbage. All of it's played the fuck out. People are literally on fucking survival mode, especially women. Which is why you have all these hoes talking about how they want a man with a lot of money. They want to be spoiled because even when you want to get into a woman can't really take care of herself, because even if she's making 100 grand a year, she's spending all of that without saving any of it or investing any of it. Very, very, very few of them are actually wise with money. The rest of them, they just doing all types of crazy shit. You know what? Spending money on nails, on beauty, hair care, body products. All that shit's expensive. Some of the stuff they need, some of the stuff they don't. A lot of stuff they just want. Nails. Getting your nails done every week. Getting your hair done every week. All that makeup, eyeliner, eyelashes, all that shit cost a lot of fucking money. And those hoes spend all of it on that shit. Dumb bitches having $1,000 fucking car note with $2,000 rent or $3,000 mortgage. They're spending all of that fucking money, and they can't sustain their own lifestyle. They don't have the stomach. Do you have the stomach? They don't have the stomach. So even though they may make a lot of money, they still will talk about how they want a man, to fund their lifestyle. But they want a man to fund their lifestyle, but they don't want to come under the tutelage of a man, especially the nigga woman. And now y'all really don't fucking get it. Y'all have no idea how fucked you truly are. Have you ever been in a situation where you were picking up something heavy, and no matter how much you tried to push against that heavy object, you felt your arms and that weight crashing down on you? That's what's going on now. That weight hasn't fully crashed down on your fucking neck yet, but y'all, they're trying hard, they're pushing as hard as they fucking can, and they're not getting anywhere. But there's gonna come a point where those fucking those blaring red fucking warning signals are going to start going off in their head, and they're going to feel their life flowing out of their body as they're in the street getting their fucking head stomped in or raped to death. And this isn't hate. This is the simple truth. And that goes for women and men. But the reason why I mention women is because it's going to be worse for women. Because y'all, when they're not, they try to be strong and independent. They try to do what men do, but they're not built for it. They are literally on life support and with the system of America that's sustaining them. They can't go out into the wild and fucking hunt and skin a deer and cook it and eat it. They can't do that. All while fucking running from hunters and predators and shit. No, they need safety. All of that manly tough shit, that's especially for the men, right? The men are going to need bitches. How much more the actual bitches? But the Lord's men told y'all all this would happen. You fuckers didn't want to listen. This is what you get. What he said. Remember now the creator of the days of thy youth. Take heed to the words of the Lord. Now, and brothers have been saying it for fucking decades. Take heed to the word of the Lord before all this stuff happened. Now what's happening? Now niggas are wondering what's going on. And you want to know something funny? You have some Jakes that are acknowledging the scriptures, but you have a lot of Jake that really don't give a fuck. They may have heard it and they still don't give a fuck. So fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. But y'all been warned, and like when you go into our history, the Lord sent out messages to give out warnings, and then when that prophecy came to pass, and our people just had their ass handed to them, and that was that. You may have had different instances where the prophets got the hell got out of Dodge, and then the rest of our people just had their asses handed to them. Same thing going on now. But any more hope is edifying to you. All praise this glory now to you. How about Shema Shah, Bashim Gakadash, the Ron to others, possible teacher, great meals up, learning truth, Shalom to hope like Israel, destruction, battle on great America.